Thank you guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to create an authentication system using the Mern stack on MongoDB, Express the JS, React, and Node.js in the background. Look at this, guys. We have created a folder called new login, and we have created two folders, the backend and the front end. These are the folders that are going to hold our code. I will start with our backend. Our backend, guys, I've already created what we call the .env. This is where I'm going to place all my environmental variables during production. It's very important, guys, you have this because once you deploy, you need to hide this to avoid the duplication of your code. So guys, in .env, I have some variables that I've created. One is port. Port is where the package will run. This is where our server will run. So I want our server to run at port 5000. You can customize this. Then we have our Mongo URL. You open your MongoDB database and you create your URL. I'll show you guys how to do this one. We'll be discussing the usage of MongoDB. If you look at my URL, it contains the username and the password. I'll show you guys how we generate this. So that is our package, our .env or environmental variables. So guys, we start with our backend. So backend, we are going to create our server. So this is a file. So you create server.js like this. Remember guys, we need to initialize our packages. So you go to the terminal, you say npm, this is a package manager. Install, you can use I or the word install. Then you want to install the express. We want to express the course. The course guy will assist us in communication between the front end and the back end without any blockage. Then we need the bcrypt. Bcrypt guys will be used for hashing the password. Remember, we don't want anybody to know our password as it is passed from the front end to the back end to the database. We also require our mongoose. Mongoose, guys, is I can say call it an element in our MongoDB that is used to create the schema. So we are calling it the mongoose. So we can first, guys, install those ones. Wait until it installs. So guys, they are installed. If you look at the package.json, they are here. Encrypt Course Express and Mongoose. Now we need to initialize them. So this is how you initialize them. We will be requiring to use Express. So we create a variable called Express. We require the variable from our Express package we have just installed a while ago. We also require const, guys, course. So we require course. Another important variable that guys that we have not installed that I want us to install, we go back to our terminal, npm install.env. .env guys will assist us to read environmental variables into our code. So we configure it. So this one you require it like this. .env .config like that. Guys, we need now to initialize our app. So from Express like that. So now we have initialized our app. We need to create our port. So const port equal to, now guys, here is where you use now .env process.env. This is how we call environmental variables into our code, process.env dot the name of what we have saved in our .env like this. Then we initialize using the 400 threads. That is how we initialize. Guys, we require to use, remember, any data that is sent from the front end to the back end is a raw data. We need to convert that one into a JSON so that the Node.js can be able to read and understand that. So for us, we use app.use express. This is where we convert .json. Sorry, express.json. This now will be used now to convert the raw data into a JSON. App, we are going to use our course. This one will prevent blockage of any data from the front end. From there, guys, we need now to initialize our server. So app.listen, we are going to listen to the port. So listening to the port, and in our port, we are going to use what we call the arrow function. Remember, the arrow function, the uses from your JavaScript class. We use backtick. And you can say server running at port. The server is running at port. So we can use the $ object port. This one now will tell the server is running at port. This one now is a constructor port, which is this that we are getting from the process.env. Then you save. You can call now the server to see whether it is working. So you call it like this, node, the name of the file, server.js. So you wait, guys. So the server is now running at port 5000. You can see. We can also go to port 5000, guys. Let me show you port 5000. Can also go to port 5000. Let me share this port 5000, guys. I want to show you how we do, how you'll be checking your port 5000, whether it is working. This is Microsoft Edge. Sharing this. Good, guys. Then you can check. We can call because it is a local host. So we are developing from our local host 5000 like that. So you can see it is running, cannot get the thrash. The thrash means the routers because we are not yet done. So guys, let me continue. We create now the screen sharing. So we can stop. We can share. We are sharing now. We are back again. So guys, now since we have created that one, the next step is to connect to the MongoDB. Connect now to the database. So I'm creating a folder, I'll call it a database. So in this folder, I'm going to create database. So I'm going to create db.js. That is the name of the database. So in this one, we are going to use mongoose equal to require mongoose like that. Then we are going to connect. So we are going to create a function called connect db. This is the name of the function. Remember, for you to connect it, you have to wait. wait until it connects. So what you do, you use an async function. You know the async functions in JavaScript. They have to have a callback or the arrow function. So this is how you connect your wait. Mongoose to connect. So your wait mongoose to connect. So we'll connect to process.tnp.mongo URL. The Mongo URL, guys, remember it is this Mongo URL. I'll show you how to do that. Then from there, if it connects, let me see in the console. So you can say that database connected. This one you have to wrap it, guys, in a try catch. Let us wrap this one in a try catch like this, like that. If it does not connect, guys, let me see from the console. So failed to connect, and you log that error like this. Then I will require to use this. So you export module.export the connect db. Guys, the reason why I'm doing this, I'll repeat again. We need to use now the function that we have created into another component. For instance, we need to use all of this into the server.js. So that is why we are saying module.export for us to enable us now to use that. So from the server.js, I want now to connect. So the first thing is to take that function from where it was. So const connect db, that is the name that I've given on the export. So I will require, sorry, so I want to get that one from the database and the name is db. Then from there, I connect now, I initialize or I call it there. So guys, then we can break our connection and we start again to check whether it connects. So let us wait, and see whether it connects. So let us wait. Guys, you can see the system has connected successfully. It's connected successfully. So now we have connected our database with our server. So you can look that now from there. The next thing now we need to create our model. Remember we are creating an authentication system, therefore we need our model. So I'll go to our backend folder, create the model. Our model will be called user.js. So in this model now, I'll start by calling const mongoose. I will require it for use, course. So we want now to create a schema. So the const user schema, remember the camel case, will be equal to new mongoose.schema. We are creating a schema now, or our model. We will require the username from the user. So the type will be the string. The string username will be a string. You can say it is required. Don't leave it like that. Do not accept. So required true. Then you can also trim true. So we also require an email, guys. So we require an email. So the type of the email is string. So it is a string. We can also say lowercase be true. We can also say it must be unique so that we don't have users with the same username. So it's also a required field. So required is also true. So we require the password. Require a password like this. The type of the password will be string. I hope you understand why I'm using the type as string. So this one will also be required. True. Guys, there is something that I want to introduce here called the lol. Most of the web apps you find that they have two users. There's the users, the ordinary users, and the admin. So I'm going to differentiate that one now in my schema using the lol tab. So I'm going to use the lol tab like this. So the type will be also string. The type will be string. So this is the password. Put the password. Sorry, I'm repeating. So this will be the type will be string. Now we need to differentiate this now between the user. It can either be a user, the role can either be a user or an admin. But now most of the websites you find that not all of them cannot have more than one admins. Mostly they will have one admin. So mostly the other users will be the ordinary users. So we can use the default, let the default be user like that. Then we need what we call the timestamp call it true. That's the system. Guys, let the system give me the time that it was created. Then from there, we need to use this one in another one. But before you use it now, you need to convert the schema into a model like this. Const user, we are converting now, is equal to non-truth.model. This is how you convert user like this. Then user schema. Then you can export this now. Only dot export is equal to user. Sorry. So guys, what we have done here is we have created the model. This is the schema. So you convert now the schema into a model. You convert this schema into this model so that you can use it into others. So this is how you do it. So we are done with that one. From there now, guys, you create what we call the controllers. This is the Python structure, controllers. Remember, you're creating an authentication, so we can first create the auth controller.js. So we want to initialize express is equal to require express. Then, guys, we take our bcrypt. This one I will show you how we use this. Require bcrypt like this. Then we require our model that we have created here. Const user is equal to require. We want now to use the model like this. So model user, we require that one. So our first controller is to register the user, const the function, register user, like that, will be equal to async. Async means it is a asynchronous function. So we are creating an async function. In our async function, we wrap it in try catch. So let us now create. The first thing is now to get the input details from the user. So the user will give me the username, give me the email, the user will give me the password, and the user will give me the role. So all of these ones will get them from request from body. We will get the request from the body. Very important. Then from there, before you register, you need to check whether the user is already existing. So you can say const exist user. Does the user exist? Then you can check that one whether the user exists. So you use user dot find one method, and there is something that you said is unique, which was email, like this. So you check whether the user exists. If the user exists, if the user exists, then return response. You return the response and you tell me status. You return the response status of 500. These are errors from the user. .json. Give me the message. B user already exists. Tell me the user already exists. If the user now does not exist, after we check and we find that there is no unique email, the user does not exist, then we are going now to register the user, like this. You need first to change to hash the password. You make it in a non-human readable form. It is only machine readable form using bcrypt. So we create a variable called salt equal to your weight bcrypt dot generate salt up to 10 characters. Then from there we hash now the password, hash password equal to await bcrypt dot hash the password. Which password are we hashing? The one that we receive from the client. So the password that we receive like this. Then you generate the salt that you have generated here with 10 characters. Put together. Then from there, we need now to register the user. So const new user that we are registering now be equal to user dot create. So we are creating a new user with the username that we receive, email, password, and the email. But this password will not take the password that the user inputs, the password that we have already hashed. So hashed password, then the role, like this. Then from there we can log this. We can log it like this. After we create the user, then we can return response.status. This is 201.json. You can say message user created successfully. So we have successfully created the user like that. So the user is already created. If there is any error, then we can log the error like this. Failed register the user, then we can launch the error like that. After that, now you export the module for use in another function like this. Now we are done with controller. So after that, we create what we call the route. So we go to the routes folder. We create the auth routes.js like this. So we start by const express is equal to require express. This is where now we initialize our express. We require the controllers that we have created. So const auth controllers. We have called it auth controller will be equal to require controllers, auth controller like this. We need to initialize the router const. You can say const router equal to express dot router. This is what now we will be using. So the first one will be router dot post because we are registering, we are using a post method. So anytime you go to API auth and let it call, when you go to API auth, let it call auth controllers like this. Then you can export to use that module. Export is equal to route. So we want to use this one like this. We go to our server.js. This is where our main routers will be. So app.use. We are using what now? Anytime you go to the register, let it call auth. First we call the const auth route equal to require require routes, the routes, and you call it here. When you save, you can break the connection and you run again, check whether it is connected. Guys, it is connected. That means we have successfully created that. We just need to test this one now in test this one using either our Thunderbolt or Postman. Test whether they are working. Let us do that. So we can go to our Postman. Remember, this is a Postman that is for the PS code. Most of the times, it gives you some errors. This is post. This is our route. Remember, these are our routes. So we go to body. We are going to input flow data. So we require a few of these things. We require This is so guys, this is what we are testing: the username, the email and password. Binary is what we are testing. We can also remove that, it's not a must. Let us use it. So we can test our API. So error status 44 not found. That means we have a problem in the database. But guys, if we go to our MongoDB, let me share my MongoDB. I want to show you something that is very important for you to see. When you go to our MongoDB, which is this, let me show you. Let me share this. This is our MongoDB, guys. So if you go to our auth cluster, when I check my cluster name from my .env, my cluster name is remember the cluster name is written in this cluster 0. My app name is I'm using the auth. Let me check for that auth. So I have my auth, which is my auth, guys, my auth. I'm looking for my auth. I want to show you something. Or now you check IP address, browse collection, assume cluster. Sorry. We wait.